What's up everyone, this is All I Talk is Tech, and today I am doing a review of the Asus ZenBook UX501VW. So this is a pretty amazing laptop. It has a pretty good keyboard with a pretty decent trackpad. It doesn't do that weird Windows thing where the trackpad basically has a mind of its own. And the one small problem I have is the trackpad feels like it's plastic. It feels a little bit cheap, but other than that, this is a pretty good Windows trackpad. As you can hear, the sound is pretty good. And overall, it's a pretty good trackpad. Now moving on to the keyboard, I have a few complaints. It's kind of awkward to type on because of the number pad, but you will get used to it over time. And the shift key is very close to the arrow key. The shift key is a lot smaller than usual, so I found myself hitting that a little bit too often. So moving on to the ports, this computer has a pretty good choice. It has the power port on one side along with USB 3, HDMI, and USB Type-C. Now looking at the other side, it has the headphone jack, SD card slot, and two USB 3.0 ports. The one thing I really loved about this computer was the build quality. Asus did not cheap out at all when they built this computer, except for the trackpad, but the trackpad's pretty good. But this thing is made of all metal and it is amazing. This is probably the closest build quality you will get to probably a MacBook Pro using a Windows computer, so that's pretty cool. So what about specs? This computer has a NVIDIA GTX 960M, which is pretty awesome. I was able to play Warframe and hit around 90 to 100 frames per second with everything on high at 1080p, which is awesome. And this computer also has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the graphics card has 2 gigs also. This computer also has an Intel Core i7 with 4 cores and 8 threads, clocked at 2.6 gigahertz, but I could also get around 3 gigahertz on this computer, which is amazing. So speaking of gameplay and performance, how do the speakers perform? Well, they aren't really the best. I was expecting a little more for a high-end laptop. So I'll let you hear a little example right now. So sadly my bad microphone didn't really do the best job of picking up the noise, but that was basically the best sample I could give you guys. The speakers aren't really that good, but they're good enough. I mean, it is a laptop, so you can't really expect too much from the speakers. So overall, I think this is probably the best Windows laptop you can buy today for the price and the build quality and the thinness and all that. So sadly, it is around $1,499 US, and it is a bit expensive, but I think for what you're getting, it is totally worth it. I would buy it in a heartbeat. Well, I did, but it is amazing. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.